Hi everyone, in today's video I wanted to take a few minutes to give you an update on how I've been doing on queen rearing. I think I did a little bit of a video on the first round and I can give you the results of what I got there in the end. So I'll take a few minutes and we'll walk around here and I'll show you what we got. So the first round, after 48 hours I got 14 or 17 out of 20. Thought I was doing pretty good, but I wound up, I now know out of all that, when it's all said and done, I got 4 out of the 20, which only 7 of them emerged, and I introduced them as virgins. But in the end, I got 4 out of 7. I've tried a few different cell builder configurations. Pretty much tried to do like Randy Oliver has shown in one of his videos, where I turn it to a triple deep for one day, turn it back into a double deep. And incidentally, that's what I've just done today. I've turned that back into a finisher, and but I'll get to that here in just a moment. So the types I've done, this one right here, the Randy Oliver technique seems to, for me, do the best so far. And I'm going to try several of these in the future, several ways of setting these cell builders up. The third round I did in here, I discovered the queen in that colony just so happened to be small enough that she could get through the excluder. So she got up through the excluder and the bees tore down my third round. I think I had about 20 cells in there and then they all got tore down. And incidentally, I took that queen and she's in the yellow side of that Appy May. So I got her completely out of there. Right now this colony is queenless. I left a cell in there from the day when I discovered that. It did not take, and I just got through putting a 48-hour queen cell in there, so I'm gonna try that. That was not my plan, but like I said, I'll get to that in a few minutes. So this was the second colony that I attempted a round of queens in, and I got bit with this one, as it had actually I put 2 rounds through here, but I went through there, shook the bees out, found a queen, I marked her. I started that colony with that queen. I started that colony with the mediums there and the brood, and I thought all was good, marked that queen. So I put 2 rounds through here. The first one did decent. I got like 6 out of 20 or 20 or 30 or something like that. It wasn't great. And then I put another round in here a few days after that, and there was like only 2 out of 20 took. So I went to looking in there, and lo and behold, I had cap brood. So this colony had 2 queens. So, and it currently is queenless as well, as I left a cell in there, and that cell did not take. It was a cell that they'd made on their own. So all in all, so far, I think I've done 5 complete rounds, and I got a net gain for my grafting. I've got, I believe, 4 colonies total. Now I've caught some swarms, and I did get 2 or 3 colonies started off of queen cells that I found. So it's not a total loss, but definitely those 2 queens, and that was kind of I guess an odd situation. Those 2 colonies having those, one having 2 queens and one with the queen that could get through the excluder, that definitely set my numbers back. But I did gain the experience. The queens I've got to emerge so far, I can see a difference in their size. They're definitely bigger queens, and I like the way they look. So I'm definitely going to keep this up. I think the queens are going to be better. They're definitely bigger. So I returned to the cell builder configuration that I first started with. I seem to be the most comfortable with, so I returned to the Randy Oliver configuration, where you turn this into a triple deep for one day and then you put it back. I really took my time and shook every bee in that starter through the queen excluder. I made absolutely sure there was no queen in there. So my take with this one was pretty good. I got 25 out of 30 on the JZBZ. But that's been my biggest struggle, is getting a cell builder right with an adequate amount of bees. And that's the key thing I've learned. And that's kind of what I thought going into this. The actual action of grafting is really not that difficult. It is a little tedious, but getting that cell builder right and the adequate amount of nurse bees, that seems to be the most important thing from what I can tell with my experience. So not by design, I just checked here just a few minutes ago and discovered that I got 25 out of 30 on this take. But I went around and checked some of these other colonies that has previously been cell builders or had queen cells in it or whatever, or I split. And so I got 5 here that still have decently young bees in, and but they're totally queenless, and I know the queens did not take that was made in there. So I took this opportunity, not by design, but just since it happened to fall at the same time as I checked. So I've been curious about this 48-hour queen cell thing, so I'm going to get to try it out. So I got 5 colonies here, which I got the brick at an angle. So there's one. That second one from the end. This 5-frame nuke, and I also tried a cell builder with a 5-frame nuke, and a lot of the bees left there, and I just didn't get enough population in there. But I do think that will work. I'm just running out of time for this summer, I think, so I probably won't try that one again this year. But anyway, it's got a 48-hour cell. This one's got a 48-hour cell, and this one's got a 48-hour cell. So today is, I believe it's May 27th. I know Memorial Day is Monday, so this is the Saturday before Memorial Day. But so far, I'm happy. I'm happy that I've got the experience, and I do feel good. I've not had great success with it to this point, but I've learned each time I've grafted, each time I made a cell builder, I've learned, and the bottom line is basically I didn't pay enough attention to detail to make sure that there was no queen in the cell builders, or in their cell builder on that one, and the other one is just the luck of the draw to pick the colony that the queen could get through the excluder. So, but that's part of the learning process. It did set me, it set me back some, but at least I've got this far, and I am happy with the queens I've got. They lay in good patterns, and I have gained a few colonies from it. So we're going to give this a few weeks, and we'll check back in and see what kind of take we got. But that's kind of what's been going on with my queen rearing over the past few weeks. So right now I've gotten a net gain of 4 colonies off of my queen rearing, but the queens that I do have look really good, and so I'm proud of them. But I'm going to keep on going, and I'll definitely, the other thing I see is I'm going to probably have to dedicate 5 or 6 colonies to this to be sure that I got adequate amount of nurse bees. And I mean, I need strong colonies for that. So that's basically it. I took a few minutes to describe kind of the struggles I've had with queen rearing to this point, and some of it's just bad luck, and some of it's lack of attention to detail for me, but I've learned each time. I'm trying to improve, and I feel really good about this last one I just did. But that's how it's went for me so far in the queen rearing in 2023. It's been 17 days since I shot the first part of this video. There's been a few developments since then, so I'm going to take a few minutes and update you on that, and that'll conclude this video on my experience with queen rearing year 1 for me. All right, first off, in my last video where I harvested 5 virgins and brought home and put in some colonies, and in that video I reported I only got 1. Well, it turns out I actually got 2, because when I combined these 2 like I did in the video, and I checked them about a week later, there was already some older brood in there, and the bees had tore down all the emergency cells, and they was all gone. So I actually got 2 out of 5 on that deal from the virgin harvest. So that went a little bit better than I thought. Plus, that right there is the medium in which I brought the original queen home, the gray box. It's also doing very well, getting stronger by the day. This is the colony in which I had the queens finishing out as a cell finisher in the beginning of the video. I guess I did a 2-part thing with it. I took 5 48-hour cells out, since I had some colonies here that are queenless, and I've been kind of wanting to try that. So I went ahead and tried it. So I put one in that one, and that one right there, and that one, and these 2 right there. So of those 5, this is the only one it took, and they drew their cell completely out. And I just got through looking at it a moment ago, and I'm going to give it a little more time. It's probably not been quite enough. They may be laying workers in there. There's a little bit of, looks like drone brood in there. I know sometimes it seems like I've seen queens in the past, lay a little bit of drones to start with, but I don't know. I'm going to give it a little more time. I have nothing to lose. But anyway, of those 5, that's the only one it took. And the reason the other 4 did not take is when I looked in them a week later, they all apparently had virgin queens in there at the time that I put the 48-hour cells in there, because now the other 4 all have laying queens now, and they're doing just fine. That left 20 cells. I destroyed one of them by accident, and then the other 19 are in mating newts, in which I'm going to show you. And right here's my 3-frame mating newts. I believe I've got 15 of those up here. This is not an optimal situation, I know, but being that this is my magic yard and it's in somebody's yard, side yard, this is about the best I can do, so I'll take whatever I can get. I've also got 2 queens or 2 splits in each one of these apimate colonies, so I got a total of 19 colonies up here, hoping to get mated with some of these production colony drones. Each one has a frame and a half of brood with some pollen sub and some bee bread in the frames, and one frame of foundation with freshly coated wax. So overall, I'm fairly well pleased with the success I had this year. I got down to 18 colonies, and I currently have 38. That's from catching 4 swarms, and then the rest has been queens I've raised or queen cells in which I've harvested and made splits, or these right here where I harvested some virgins. You know, if there was 19 mating nukes up there, if they all make it, then I'll have back over 50 again. So, but even if none of them take it, I've gotten to 39 or 38 from 18. So, and I've not had to buy any queens. So I'm very well satisfied with that. In a way, I'm kind of thankful for the slow honey year. It's given me time to really focus on this. Probably going forward, I'm thinking about running maybe up to 20 honey production colonies and then 15 or 20 bee production colonies, and kind of split my operation up. I've discovered I really enjoy this side of it. I can keep all those bees here in my yard and work them down here. So I've enjoyed the queen rearing part. So for me right now, I've tried the German grafting tool. I've tried the Pierce queen grafting tool, but I've had the most success with the Chinese grafting tool to this point. I've tried all of them several times, and I will continue to try them because I know that they work. Right now I'm having the most success with the Chinese grafting tool. It seems to be the easiest for me overall. I've even tried a paper clip deal that I made myself, but it was too big. I'll have to do a little modification with that and try it again, but I won't do that till next year. That's basically been it. That's kind of a 2-part deal here, and how my queen rearing's gone so far. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to join me for this video today, and we'll catch you on the next one.